Hello and welcome to In Summary. The Luigi Mangione case is a significant and complex legal matter that has garnered national attention in the United States. It involves the December 2024 assassination of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson and encompasses multiple jurisdictions, federal and state charges, and broader societal implications. Luigi Nicholas Mangione, a 26-year-old Ivy League graduate and former data engineer, is accused of the premeditated murder of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. On December the 4th, 2024, Thompson was fatally shot outside a Midtown Manhattan hotel while attending a corporate conference. The assailant used a 3D printed firearm equipped with a silencer.
In the shooting that shook our city last week, CEO Brian Thompson of UnitedHealthcare was the victim of a senseless act of violence. Our officers have been working around the clock. Many of them did not go home to pursue this individual. It was crucial that we were able to remove him off the streets of America, and we were going to seek him out no matter where he was at the time.
Authorities allege that Mangione targeted Thompson as a form of protest against the US healthcare system, which he criticised in a manifesto found upon his arrest.
So my initial reactions were just shock, surprise, and I just would never expect someone who went to our school to be involved in this. So it was just shock, really. I'm still shocked.
Following a 5-day manhunt, Mangione was apprehended on December the 9th, 2024, at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania. At the time of his arrest, he was found in possession of a ghost gun, fake identification documents, and a handwritten letter which has been characterized as a manifesto.
Earlier this morning in Altoona, Pennsylvania, members of the Altoona Police Department arrested Luigi Mangione, a 26-year-old male, on firearms charges. At this time, he is believed to be our person of interest in the brazen targeted murder of Brian Thompson, CEO of UnitedHealthcare, last Wednesday in Midtown Manhattan. The suspect was in a McDonald's and was recognized by an employee who then called local police. Responding officers questioned the suspect, who was acting suspiciously and was carrying multiple fraudulent IDs as well as a U.S. passport. Upon further investigation, officers recovered a firearm on his person as well as a suppressor, both consistent with the weapon used in the murder.
In it, he criticized the U.S. healthcare system, labeling industry executives as parasites and highlighting disparities between healthcare costs and life expectancy.
As completely out of touch and as an insult to the intelligence of the American people and its lived experience.
The letter suggests a politically motivated rationale for the crime. At the crime scene, shell casings were found inscribed with the words deny, dispose, and delay, terms associated with insurance industry practices. The US Department of Justice announced its intent to seek the death penalty, citing the ideological motivation and premeditated nature of the crime.
And what we've discovered, going all those places, talking to people who had close contact with Luigi, as Harvey said, one, he is obsessed, but also I think as far as the criminal case is concerned, it is very clear that this was something he was thinking about and planning for several months, going back even before last summer.
We definitely 6 months before, and as early as March.
Mangione faces multiple charges across federal and state jurisdictions. These include murder through the use of a firearm, stalking, and related firearm offences. Federal prosecutors have announced their intent to seek the death penalty, marking this one of the first capital cases under the Trump administration's renewed push for federal executions. In New York, Mangione has been indicted on 11 counts, including first-degree murder and the murder in furtherance and terrorism. He also faces charges in Pennsylvania, where he was apprehended after a multi-day manhunt. Mangione has pleaded not guilty to all charges. His federal trial is tentatively scheduled for December 5, 2025, with a New York State Court appearance set for June 26. Mangione's defense team has criticized the decision to pursue the death penalty as politically motivated. They argue that public statements by the Attorney General have prejudiced the case and could compromise Mangione's right to a fair trial.
First, we'd request immediate, expedited discovery in this case. The people have had this case for about almost 3 weeks, and that's more than enough time to gather as much information as they can give to us, especially now that we have two proceedings that we have to answer to, one of them being death eligible. So we are requesting that we get immediate discovery of all the New York City Police Department and FBI and federal and state documents. And the second thing I want to make a record of, Your Honor, is I'm very concerned about my client's right to a fair trial in this case. He's being prejudiced by some statements that are being made by government officials. Like every other defendant, he is entitled to a presumption of innocence, but unfortunately, the way this has been handled so far, his rights are being violated. And as you know, Your Honor, there's a wealth of case law guaranteeing his right to a fair trial, but none of the safeguards have been put in place yet here. In fact, it's just the opposite of what's been happening. He's a young man, and he is being treated like a human ping pong ball between two warring jurisdictions here. These federal and state prosecutors are coordinating with one another, but at the expense of him. They have conflicting theories in their indictments, and they are literally treating him like he is like some sort of political fodder, like some sort of spectacle.
Additionally, the defense has raised concerns about alleged eavesdropping on privileged attorney-client communications at the detention center. A federal judge has ordered the prosecution to address these allegations and implement measures to protect Mangione's rights. The case has sparked widespread public interest and polarized opinions. Some view Mangione as a symbol of resistance against perceived injustices in the healthcare system. A legal defense fund has raised over $950,000, and supporters have attended court hearings, sometimes dressed in costumes referencing the Nintendo character Luigi. Protests have included provocative displays, such as a mock electric chair sculpture titled Deep Fried Luigi. Luigi's background includes an Ivy League education and a promising engineering career. However, reports indicate he became estranged from his family, suffered from chronic back pain, and exhibited behavioural changes leading up to the incident.
Well set. Congratulations. Thank you.
Headmaster Smythe, Mr. Hubeck, members of the Board of Trustees, family, friends, faculty, and fellow students, good afternoon. Thank you all for being here to celebrate Gilman's 116th Founders Day. I'm honored to be speaking to you all today on behalf of the Gilman class of 2016. When I started writing the speech, I talked with several students and teachers and asked how they would describe the class of 2016. Many of the students characterized our class as inventive, in both imagination and initiative.
Mangione is currently held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. The federal trial is tentatively scheduled for 2026, with a state court appearance set for June 26, 2025. The judge has emphasized the importance of maintaining the integrity of the trial and has cautioned against public commentary that could influence the proceedings. The Mangione case has reignited debates over the death penalty in the United States, especially in the context of politically charged crimes. It also highlights tensions between federal and state jurisdictions, particularly in states like New York that have abolished capital punishment. The case underscores the deep-seated public discontent with the US healthcare system and the lengths to which individuals may go to protest perceived systemic failures.